It's pretty cool. It's got a very raw feel to it. It's very stripped down, it's very loud, it only makes about 350 wheel horsepower, but it's very raw. Like, you get in it and you feel when boost hits and it does a pull, you feel it's very aggressive, and it's very fun in that aspect. It's very fun for people to ride in the car at a drift event. My name's Scott Allinder. This is my 1991 Nissan 240sx, and I am the owner of Grip Royal steering wheels. This car has a bit of an odd history given the circumstances of most drift cars or most S chassis these days. And I say it's kind of my car because it's not exactly my car, but it is my car. And the backstory on it is my good friend Andrew Chang actually used this chassis as his drift car for a handful of years. And another group of guys, all very close friends with Andrew's as well, we had come together, and over the last 15 years of drifting, we determined all of our cars aren't going to operate at the same time. They break, somebody's building one, somebody's just broken one. We never get to drive all of them at the same time. So we decided to collectively build a track car that we could all work on, all contribute monetarily to, and maybe we can't all tandem together, but we could guarantee that we all get laps at drift days. Well, we came up with this idea, and we happened to be out with Andrew Chang, and Andrew had a handful of years ago decided to start focusing a lot of his time on his physical health and just kind of let drifting, after doing it for 15, 20 years, he let drifting take like a back step. And he said, well, hey, I've got that cage shell, it's got a bunch of good parts on it, why don't you guys just use that as the starting point instead of making a whole new car from scratch? And so he became a part of that team, and his shell and his motor became the building block to start with. Of course, the first year we were all gung-ho about it. We all worked on the car a lot. We were hanging out together a lot, and then life just kept taking over. And me being the owner of Grip Royal and drifting and the aftermarket car industry being my job, I found myself working on the car and contributing monetarily towards parts a lot more than everyone else, which was no problem at first. That was really just me being like, hey, this is my job and we need this part, so we're gonna get it. And over time, as things progressed, all the other guys were like, I don't want to break this car now because you've put so much time and money into it, and it wasn't really equally distributed like we originally planned. And so after like the second year of the car being functioning and everything, everybody kind of just stepped back and was like, yeah, that's kind of Scott's car now. And everybody started working on their own projects again. So it wasn't like a discussed thing, and they're still able to drive it. We definitely go to events, and everybody brings their helmets, and if it's not a high stress environment, the guys will throw their helmets on, get laps in the car. The car's super solid now. Everything's been changed on it from where we started. Pretty much nothing is how we started with, and it's been replaced 2 or 3 times now. But it is in the best condition it's ever been in, and now again it's pretty much my full-blown drift car. Yeah, and so this car is very much a performance drift car. It's specifically meant to be a track car. It is registered and insured so that it can be street driven, but for the most part that is for, you know, maybe parading, or if we go to an event where they have like some kind of street car show kind of dynamic to it, where we could take the car off of the track environment, drive it legally to that environment, and then drive it back. Do I street drive this car? Barely, minimally. I mean, it maybe sees 50 to 100 miles a year. And again, that kind of is based on what drift events is it going to. You know, if there's something happening locally that's right down the street, yeah, I might drive it there, but honestly, probably not. The car constantly has been changing because we're always trying to fix an issue, and not just like repair an issue, but we're always trying to upgrade every component. And that's why everything has changed so many times on this car, to get it to a point of reliability on the track. So that I wouldn't really commute this car or drive it anywhere that's, you know, doesn't have a purpose in getting there. And that, you know, that's because, again, this is a full built drift car. I have another built S13 that is built to be more of a street car build, even though it's caged too. And that car, in comparison, was built with like lots of sound deadener, lots of polyurethane bushings, whereas this car has a lot of solid metal bushings. This has a very stiff cage in it, has a very high door bar for more protection. This car has a very much more stripped interior. The wiring harness is all built from scratch. It has no defrost, has no AC, has no cruise control. Heck, this thing doesn't have blinkers. You know, it's very switch panel setup, and a digital dash to give us the readouts from our Link ECU. Previously running like an older Power FC, but we went to a more modern ECU just to be able to see more parameters and to do more monitoring, but also to do more safety features, because 5 different people were driving the car with very different driving experience levels and different amounts of time spent with the car. So we wanted those like security features built in to try and protect the engine. But yeah, this thing's like very stripped down. It makes a lot more power than my other car, intentionally for drifting purposes, but it's definitely that raw roller coaster kind of feel compared to getting in like a street car at a drift event that has full interior, has maybe even stock seat belts, has a more subtle kind of smooth feel, which you'll see behind me. Even I've got the C5 street car, C5 Corvette that I street drive as well, which has a very, very smooth controlled feeling, whereas this thing feels like just a raw rocket ship. And but it definitely has a lot of things set up on it now that have changed from the beginning to make the SR, the SR20, as, you know, it's as tunable and as dependable as possible. And we're always just trying to find that last little link, that weak link, and work and fine tune that out. So now this car has a GT2863R turbo, so it's still bottom out, but it does have a external wastegate. It's got drive-by-wire on it that, again, you know, works with the Link ECU. It's got all deatschwerks fuel components, from the pump and the hanger assembly to all lines, all the way to the rail and the injectors, and everything on it. And it's set up for E85, so it gets a little more power with a little more safety feature from detonation, which is what happened to the last motor that was in this. I melted a piston from running old gas, and I was told not to, and I did it anyway, so that's shame on me. Yeah, and it's got, we used to run clutch fan on it out of simplicity, but we kept burning through clutches because this thing's always on the limiter, being an SR. So now it's got a really nice, powerful fan setup. Shout out to my buddy Mike King for setting me up with that. yeah, I mean, again, it's just we're always trying to like find what the little weak link is and work it out so that you can get every second of seat time at the drift event that you paid and traveled to go do. But last couple of years been a little problematic. It'll always be like some silly little thing that has stolen track time away from me, but that's part of the game too. So that's just the way it goes. Yeah, so like the plans for this car are, you know, it is really built to be about where I want it to be. I'm not looking for more power. Dependability and drivability is always the highest priority. Again, unfortunately, the last, you know, year and a half has been silly little issues that have stolen a lot of track time. So I have gotten a little burnt out on it, just as we all do. You know, if something gives you hell for long enough, like I definitely endear it, and I'm gonna push through, but I've taken a little break from it. I got it back to like a good state, and the plan this year was to not hit a high quantity of events. It's just to go to a couple good events that we really know are well structured, a lot of fun, cool tracks. So in about a month, I'll be taking this thing to New Jersey, up to a Club Loose event, East Coast Bash at Englishtown Raceway Park. Haven't been there in like 9 years, and it's just been way too long. So those guys are always super, super welcoming. The track's super cool. So long haul for us, but that's the first place this car is gonna drive or drift this year. And then in September, I'll take it to Ohio for Killcare Raceway, Drift Indy's No Star Bash, another like weekend-long huge drift event, banger, you know, a bash event. And again, super OG guys. They've been running events for, you know, 15 years. Tons of great cars, tons of great drivers, really cool track. We went 2 years ago to Killcare, brought the Corvette, and we're blown away with how cool the track was compared to how it kind of drove on the sim. Lots of fun, but always a lot more fun in real life. And then in December, we will take this car down to New Orleans Motorsports Park to meet up with the Inno Drift guys. Again, super OGs. They've been running events for 15 years, and we haven't been down there since I think like 2019, pre-COVID. So really just want to go down there, enjoy a solid weekend of fun, drifting with people that we know, you know, hold it down and throw a good event. So end year bash with them will end the year, and that makes 3 drift events with this car planned for the year. We are going to sprinkle in, I forget when, but sometime in the middle of the year, Team Shriek, the drift team that I'm a part of, we're going to go to Mid Pond and just have like a personal team, you know, private day, if you will, and hang out there, which is not too far from us, so it should be like a one-day thing. But really, you know, all we're trying to get out of the car is for it to function how it's built now. And I think even with us driving it around on the roads, ripping for this shoot, I think I may have even rattled loose some of the turbo to manifold gaskets. There's a four bolt gasket, again, still stock manifold style. And I think I may have rattled loose the nuts on that. So it looks like I'll be working on the car to change that gasket and tighten things up, but hopefully that's it. And hopefully everything else holds up really well. Some things that I've done more recently, just again for that dependability and drivability, was the drive-by-wire stuff. We went to a LS1 alternator to ditch the old Nissan stuff that's super, super old. And this car is running a CD09 with Mazworks bell housing and serial 9 shifter. And I just recently went to Z33 or 350Z output shaft, conversion output shafts and axles, which huge game changer. I used to always get concerned when I was leading another driver because breaking stock axles is very common, and especially the aftermarket stuff and the OEM ones are getting very limited to find. So wish I would have done that a long time ago. If you're drifting an S chassis, definitely go ahead and pick up some of the conversion output shafts to go 350Z axle. I highly recommend that. But yeah, outside of that, I don't want more power out of the car. I just want it to do what it's supposed to do, and when I go to an event, I just want to drift the entire day. Yeah, and just to close out, you know, just want to send some love to everybody who's been involved with this car. Again, Andrew Chang, it's technically his car in my mind still. And then obviously the other guys involved, Mike, Chris, Andrew. Missing anybody on that? Might have to check, and then I'll say something and you can add it in. But no, obviously Forrest, the tuner, man, the guy who told me not to run the old gas on the last motor. Shout out to him, thanks buddy. And then yeah, a few companies that have been supportive with the build. Enjuku Racing, I've been buying parts from them since I was 15. Got my first exhaust through them, and it's really cool to like work with them a little bit this year, and the team Shriek has like kind of like collaborated with them. So shout out to Enjuku, they're an awesome company with tons of parts. Most everything on this car has been ordered through them. Yeah, Kansei Wheels, been running their wheels for like 5-6 years. Awesome wheels, awesome pricing, really cool guys, really cool brand. Yeah, you know, that's the deatschwerks stuff. I mean, it's just like all just cool parts. All the brands that we work with are the parts that we run and want to use, you know. So the deatschwerks stuff. Obviously, shout out to my own brand, grip oil, the steering wheel, and shift knob that Mike makes from scratch. Yeah, you know, just got a KBD kit. I love this kit. It's BN style, but like it's poly, so we don't have to worry about breaking stuff. It holds up really well. Lots of Part Shop Max stuff on it. These guys, again, super OG, they've been around forever. So yeah, just, you know, if you want a parts list, holler at me and I'll tell you what parts we have on it. But other than that, just, you know, thanks to everybody who's been involved with this car one way or another. It's an awesome machine. It's got an awesome story, and hopefully it stays in one piece for a very, very long time.